Alright guys, another day, another strength, back here with another video today. Got another training footage video for you guys on the squat. So I trained the squat the other day. It was a great time. I'm now in week number 5 of the diet. So it was 3 weeks of maintenance, 3 weeks of a diet, 1 week of maintenance, and then now I'm in the second 4-week block. So the first week of the second block of the diet, and I'm probably gonna do like 3 or 4 total blocks. But yeah, body weight is about 191 as of yesterday morning. I didn't weigh myself today. But yeah, I just want to reiterate the goals of the program, right? Just trying to maintain my muscle mass. I don't care too much if I lose strength. I just want to lose a bunch of fat. The strength is going to be what it's going to be, and then from there I'll change to something else, rebuild, right? It's temporary. When you're advanced, you have to go in phases, right? This is my phase right now. It's the same thing when I was more of a novice, right? I was just trying to get as strong as possible, regardless of the body weight. And that was the idea at that point. Now I'm shifting to where I just care about the body weight, not as much about the strength. So anyways, I was doing this squat. We'll get right into these. A rotating linear progression is what I'm using. And I'm doing some pause squats right here. So you can use regular squats, you can use high bar squats, you can use pause high bar squats, doesn't really matter, right? Just pick a variation. The only thing that matters about choosing which exercise you're going to do is basically the muscle that you want to keep. So the low bar pause squat that I'm doing here is going to maintain the most amount of muscle mass because it uses the most amount of muscle mass. And I was doing high bar squats for a little bit. I was planning to do high bar squats and then transition into low bar squats when those got too hard. But my knee was kind of bugging, so I guess there's a reason that I don't do those. If I do them with pause, it's fine, but then they're just too light, I feel like, to make it worth doing. So I'm just doing a pause squat. I'm only doing one top set and then one back off set. And the reason for one top set is because I'm not eating a lot of carbs. So if you've ever tried this before, if you've ever tried dieting, you're probably good for like one top set, and then you are going to lose performance very quickly because you don't have a lot of energy. So that's what I'm doing here. And you can also run this rotating linear progression with multiple variations. So I'm just doing it with one, but the idea is you start with a certain number of reps and titrate down to a certain number of reps, and you're just adding 5 pounds each week. So for example, if I'm doing this pause squat, I can start at like 255 for 8, and then just add 5 pounds, do 260 and try to get 8, and then keep trying to get 8 until I'm like, I don't want to like fail reps, but if I feel like I'm about to fail a rep, I might just rack the bar. That's totally fine when you're doing this. You don't have to go to absolute failure, but you do have to have a good handle on your training. You don't want to be leaving like 3 or 4 reps in the tank, right? And then towards the end of it, you can push a lot harder, but you're going to run down until you get to like 5 reps. Once I'm at 5 reps, then I'm just going to keep pushing, and I'll ride one to the pins eventually. So when I get 4 and then I fail a rep, that's when I'll go back to 8, and then I'll just probably start from like where my 8 PRs left off essentially, and then keep adding 5 pounds again, right? So you just keep adding weight to the bar and you keep recycling, and it works great for maintaining strength when you're doing something like this. So moving on, went into some ab training next. I'm doing the modified candlestick. One downside to this movement is that I'm starting with the beginner variation. There's like an RP video about this movement. There's a beginner variation, an intermediate one, and then the advanced one is just way too hard. And I can do the advanced or the intermediate one, but I can only do like 8 to 10 reps. So I wanted to get some more reps so I can kind of get used to it, acclimate to it a little bit. But I'm training my abs for the first time ever. I've never done direct ab training before, so I'm excited to see what's going to happen. It could be a complete waste of time, or it could be beneficial. I'm going to find out. But yeah, the beginner version is tough to judge because you have to kind of like bend your knees on the way up and then also bend them on the way down. So I might just start doing the intermediate version where you kind of like bend your knees on the way up and you keep your legs straight on the way down, and then just kind of like keep adding reps to the set until I get to a higher rep range. The other thing is you can't really load the movement that well, so I'm going to have to progress in reps. So I might even wind up going all the way up to like 30 reps for this just to progress it. Unless I determine along the way that it's just not doing anything, and then I'll just get rid of it and stop doing it. But yeah, my abs got very sore with this one, and I was supersetting these with split squats to save some time. I'll talk about the supersets more towards the end of the video because I did more. But I messed up these split squats pretty bad. I was trying to get a lot of knee extension and train my quads more directly. And the reason that I haven't been doing something like a plat squat or like a high bar squat for that is because it's a lot heavier, carries a lot more fatigue, and also I've been getting these exertion headaches lately. So I've been working on removing those and they've been going away, so that's good. But I get them only when I do like high bar squat variations. I don't get them with anything else. So I think it has something to do with like something in the back of my neck. But I might talk about that more in later videos. I'm trying some things that are getting rid of it. But yeah, the dumbbell split squats I messed up because I was trying to get a lot of knee bend and quad movement. But I think because of the way I positioned my legs, I got a lot of glutes, because the next day I didn't feel like anything in my quads and I felt all in my glutes. And then I realized if you want to get more quad, I should probably not elevate the back foot and then elevate the front foot so I get more range of motion on the knee. So I'll try that next week. So this is my first time doing them, so I don't really care that much. You know, just trolling around, just throwing them in there. Just something to do. But yeah, the final set was a giant set, and it was absolutely brutal. The point of doing a super or a giant set, I want to really point out here and emphasize that it's not to burn calories, right? I'm not trying to burn calories through movement while I'm dieting. I do, you know, I go for walks. I talked about steps in a different video. And this is probably going to burn like slightly more calories, but it's not, you know, noticeable enough to be like, yeah, you should definitely do this to burn calories. But the main point of doing a giant set is to save time and to actually do the movements in the first place. Because if I were not doing this as a giant set, the workout would take too long and I would just skip all these movements. So I'm doing like some side delt raises. I'm doing some calf raises, which is pretty sus on this setup here. I stole it from Robert Santana. And then I'm doing some finger curls with a barbell in the far rack. So I'm just doing them all back to back. And the finger curls are for forearms, by the way. So I've never trained any of those muscle groups alone before. So I'm just, you know, trying to experiment and see what happens. And on this day, like after the heavy squat, I don't need a whole lot more. I've cut in the past and done just squat. Like I've done one lift per day, each of the main lifts 4 days a week, and that's worked fine. So I'm just kind of doing this to see what happens. And hopefully something good will come of it. I think it will. But also there is a conditioning effect when you do a giant set like this. The thing about conditioning, Nick Delgadillo made a couple great videos on the Starting Strength Network. If you're a member of that, you can watch them. But basically what he says is that, you know, if you're doing conditioning, you have to ask yourself first, why do you want to do conditioning? And there's usually 2 reasons. Number 1 is you want to train your heart and lungs. So if that's the case, then you just have to do something that's easy to do and that you're going to do on a regular basis, right? And the second reason is trying to enhance performance for a sport. So I'm not doing any sports. That's not really a reason. So for me, it's just like for the heart and lungs. And so you do get a conditioning effect from this. And so if you're training for your heart and your lungs, trying to get conditioning for that, it needs to be something enjoyable and convenient, like I said. So I'm already at the gym. I'm already doing a workout. I'm at the gym like 8 to 9 to 10 hours a day sometimes. I don't want to do that and then go to another gym somewhere, or like come back to this gym or be there longer and then do conditioning. So this is an easy and convenient way for me to do it and just throw it in during the workout, and then also get in some movements that I'm not going to do otherwise. And there may be a performance enhancing benefit for shorter and heavier sets because you're getting used to like burning and breathing heavy and all this stuff. So when you get into like, you know, even if you're just doing, like I said, an 8 for squats, this definitely does prepare you for that a little bit because you're not going to be as gassed when you're doing that. But yeah, that's the whole workout. Sorry about that. My phone died. I ran out of space actually, but luckily the video was almost done. So yeah, the rest of the videos I'm going to do for this series, for the shred and for the wedding, is I have a bench workout and a deadlift workout. So this is my second cycle of dieting. I'm going to do 4 total, so I'll probably do 1 of each of those during the last 2 cycles. And I'll put those up. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to see in future videos. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, say something in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, goodbye.